editor-in-chief of Vanity Fair for 5 years. I know you throw the biggest party of the year, which is the Vanity Fair Oscar party that just happened.
That's right.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
How'd it go? What can you tell me about it? Any good stories?
It was great. It was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a great night in Hollywood.
Is that where Justin Bieber wore a blanket?
He did. He was very...
I'm not hating on that, by the way. I would rock a blanket if I could pull it off.
He was very cozy. You know, we want everyone to kick back, relax, and Justin really embodied that for the night, so...
The stories that usually come out of that party are, I think, like a great combination of pop culture, fashion, things with gravity. I've been myself, and I'm always surprised when there's, elected officials, authors who've won Pulitzers, next to people whose movies you just walked out of. How do you curate a list like that?
For the record, I watch all the movies all the way through.
Okay, all right.
I don't know about you, Cal. Well, Vanity Fair is all about the mix because we cover all those things. We cover politics, we cover culture, we cover entertainment. So it was such a cool, this year, for example, we had 2 Nobel laureates in attendance. Malala was there. She produced a film that was nominated for an Oscar. Nancy and Paul Pelosi were there. They joined me for my viewing dinner that I host before the party, and that was super fun. We sat with Donald Glover and Michael Keaton, so it's all about the mix, and that's what makes it a lively and unique event.
It's an event that a lot of people want to get into, and I'm curious, what's the craziest bribe you've ever been offered for entry to the Vanity Fair Oscar?
So I obviously don't want to give anyone any ideas. So I will not be answering that question.
Well, I didn't ask you if they worked. I just asked what the offer was.
They never work. No, I'm like, no. No, I will tell you that somebody once brought a fake Oscar to the party to get in.
That's gangster.
Yeah, so if anyone's in the habit of melting gold and just bring that Lego Oscar statue that's super cool. Try it. Try your luck is what I have to say.
Did they get in?
I don't know, actually. It's lore. The story stops there.
Something that I find so interesting and dynamic about you is that in the 5 years since you've been editor-in-chief, Vanity Fair has increased its footprint, its audience, its readership, at a time where most media outlets are shrinking in dramatic fashion. How did you manage to grow the brand like that?
We're very proud of it, and thank you for saying that, because I feel like when I came to Vanity Fair, I felt like it was such an important cultural property, and I got to take my role as editor-in-chief at a time when our culture was dramatically changing. The Me Too movement was just getting rolling, and there were just a lot of important conversations being had among everybody, really, about kind of who holds power, who gets to have a voice in our country, in our culture, and who do we put on pedestals? Who do we look up to? And I felt like Vanity Fair has this really powerful legacy of being able to shine a spotlight on people who really matter and people we think are important. And so to be able to modernize the brand and make it really fresh and forward-looking, make it more diverse, to me that just felt like it was not only was it the right thing to do, but it was the exciting thing to do. The culture is dynamic; it's always changing. You're part of that, and I think it's really rewarding, not only for us who are making the magazine, working on the site every day, curating the social feeds, making the videos, all those things. It's rewarding for us, but I think it's also rewarding for our readers because they really want to be able to discover what's new, what's fresh. That was the point of our Hollywood cover this year. Everybody on the cover is under 35. It's just incredibly powerful generation of Hollywood talent. And Austin Butler, Ana de Armas, both of them nominated for Oscars this year. They're young, they're at the beginning of their careers, but they're already killing it. People like Julia Garner, Jonathan Majors, it's exciting, I think, to be able to look to the future through people like that and for us to be able to elevate them. So that's been our mission, and to have it resonate and to see the success and see it reach audiences is just really gratifying.
It's an incredible thing to witness as a fan of the brand and the franchise, especially because as somebody who works in entertainment, I often feel like I'm fighting, when I'm in a leadership position, I'm fighting to prove to folks who are a little higher up than me why I want to cast somebody or hire this particular writer, especially if they come from a diverse background.
Right.
And some of that is institutional, some of that is nepotism that you're fighting up against. You've really shaken up this magazine. You have new contributors. The stories that you're telling are never at the expense of somebody who's not qualified. Like, you're bringing in these diverse voices from incredible American and global viewpoints. Was that hard to do when you got in the editor seat, or was that an easy change?
I mean, I just kind of plowed ahead and did it. I figured someone would tell me to stop, you know, but nobody did. And in fact, I had a lot of support. And again, when you see it resonating with readers, with viewers, you know, that's the proof. I think the reason I do this job is that I like taking risks, and I like being able to elevate new voices. And, you know, I've benefited from that. I want to pass that along. So, I mean, I'm happy to say that when I came to the magazine, I said, this is what I want to do, and they said, go for it, and here we are.
I want to wrap up with you. You sort of alluded to shout outs, and I love, whether it's your social media or things that the magazine does, highlighting up and coming brands. And these are incredibly talented, oftentimes, you know, communities, folks from communities of color, young startups, people with really interesting stories that feed into their art or their fashion. How do you find those people?
Well, I think that I'm lucky to work with a team that's deeply curious and just kind of like very omnivorous, and that's how I feel too. I mean, I think a lot of the divisions that we make in our culture are a little artificial, you know. I don't believe in the concept of a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure. So that's so I try to apply that to, you know, the curation of the magazine. And we do really serious investigative journalism, but we also are here to have fun, and we want our readers to have fun and enjoy it. And that's, you know, coming back to the Oscar party, like, that's kind of what it's all about. So,
well. This is a very fun issue. It's the 29th annual Hollywood issue on Vanity Fair. Please, thanks so much to my guest, Radhika Jones.